All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Ryan Garcia says that he wants more money from Goldenboy Promotions or they should let him go if they don't believe in him. Jermall Charlo and Julian Williams both lay heavy hints to Ryan Garcia that he needs to sign with the PBC and skip all of that drama over there with Goldenboy Promotions. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Ryan Garcia is saying he's not making enough money and he's not respected by Goldenboy Promotions for the potential that he has and for what he brings to the table at this point in the sport of boxing. Jermall Charlo and Julian J. Rock Williams, through their Twitter pages, both let it be known that people do not complain about the money that they're making when they're signed with the PBC. That's something that is pretty much the area of the specialty of Top Rank and Goldenboy. Now, before we get into that though, I want to say a special thank you to everybody that supports the channel in the super chats, everybody that supports it in the cash apps during the live streams that we have Monday through Friday and OG Boxing Talk on Sunday. Thank you to everybody that supports, and I invite you to support and join the channel as a member. And also, I ask you to join the Patreon. There's a lot of really good content over there. I hope to talk to you over there and share ideas. Now, as far as this boxing goes and the topic of this video, I was looking at, I got to shut my phone off at the same time that I do this. Otherwise, it's gonna my phone is gonna go berserk. I forgot to turn it off before I started. I've got a lot of people that want to call me all kind of names, and I get it. It just so you know, when you insult me, boop, it hits me right there. Now, as far as Ryan Garcia and Goldenboy, Ryan Garcia signing with Oscar De La Hoya was something that I'm sure he thought was a good idea when he signed with Oscar De La Hoya. But you could almost see this coming because Oscar De La Hoya has first of all, Oscar De La Hoya is not a very good promoter. He's probably a worse manager. I mean, a worse businessman than he is an actual promoter. And the reason I say that is because it takes a monumental jackass to lose all of the fighters that he lost to the PBC. So right off there, signing off the bat, signing with them, you should have said, how good can he be if he lost 200 fighters because he wasn't taking care of business? And maybe not. But I'm sure Ryan Garcia thought it was a good idea when he signed. There's Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is one of the biggest stars in the sport. Canelo Alvarez is one of the biggest, is the biggest money earner in the sport of boxing. So, hey, man, why not follow Canelo? It makes sense. Well, the problem with that is that Canelo was really built by the PBC. If you look at who he fought and what he was doing when he was moving up the ranks, it was because he was fighting with what was called Mayweather Promotions and Goldenboy Promotions. The group, what do you call it? The co-promotional deals that those guys had. And he was built up on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Well, if you look at all of the people that were fighting around there, like the fights he had with Landy Lara, fights that he had with Austin Trout, the fight that he had with Floyd Mayweather Jr., all of those fights that he had on his undercards, if you would, that same organization and pretty much everybody involved in that organization that was Goldenboy Promotions is now with the PBC. And so Goldenboy in and of itself, with no connection to Al Haymon, no connection to Floyd Mayweather Jr., no connection to all of the fighters that are now fighting for the PBC, has never developed a big star. So you shouldn't be surprised that in the middle of a coronavirus where there's not a lot of fight cards going on, where you can't have an audience, that money issues are going to start hitting Goldenboy Promotions, right? It's something that should be foreseeable when somebody has already has a reputation of being a bad manager. So it doesn't surprise me that somebody like Ryan Garcia is saying, hold on, man, I'm the pretty boy. I'm the one that all the girls want to see, and and I'm the one with the potential that if he can make, because it's the truth with Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia can live up to his potential, the ability to fight, then because of the way that Ryan Garcia looks and because of the way that Ryan Garcia is so active on social media, he will be worth a lot of money to the promoter. He will be a big deal. The only issue is whether or not he can back it up in the ring. And today he's backed it up in the ring. So I don't have any issue with what Ryan Garcia says about being upset that he is making half the money that Shakur Stevenson is making over there at Top Rank. Now, the thing that I did find interesting listening to the conversations going on about this is, one, PBC fighters are clearly telling Ryan Garcia, look, man, J-Rock put on his Twitter, people can say what they want to say about the PBC, but nobody's complaining about the money that they're making. Jermall Charlo, straight in a message straight to Ryan Garcia, said, hey, man, I remember what it was like when I was with Goldenboy, and I was the guy that they were going to try to build up to tear down. Now that I'm over at the PBC, I don't have that problem. You can see that he's doing very well financially, even though the major fighters in that division have decided not to fight him. But he's done very, very well financially. So if you look at the whole picture, you see that Ryan Garcia's move to the PBC would probably be the smartest thing that he can do. And what he said to Oscar De La Hoya is the truth. Look, man, if you don't believe in me, if you don't think that I'm the next big star or whatever, just release me. Release me from my contract. I'll release you from your obligations. I'll go on about my merry way. You going on about your merry way, and we'll see what's cracking, right? Now, if Ryan Garcia wants to fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, if he wants to fight when he moves up there to 140, and he'll be at 147 pounds eventually. Ryan Garcia is he's and his frame will size out. There's plenty of PBC fighters for this dude to continually fight, and there will be no promotional fees coming out of his fight purse. So why wouldn't you do that? It's not like Goldenboy Promotions has a lot of fighters over there for him to fight anyway. Like, which one of the top lightweights or top 140-pound fighters are with Goldenboy Promotions? None of them. They're either with Top Rank or they're with the PBC. One or the other. Top Rank or PBC. Chris Colbert, Ryan Garcia, PBC. Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Top Rank. Devin Haney. You know what I mean? Devin Haney is with Devin Haney and DAZN, right? Now, I wouldn't advise Ryan Garcia to go to DAZN because that may not be around very long and they're cutting prices. But look, man, I think it would be a smart move for him. And also, but the thing where it's serious, right? And this is an observation that I was making about about the boxing media and what they are saying about this. If you noticed how many commentators are urging fighters to take less money for fights, what business is it of Steve Kim or Dougie Fisher to actively push fighters to take less money for their fights? Now, it makes sense for a promoter to say that, right? It would make sense for Top Rank to say that, because Top Rank could say, hey, we're all part of the team we're all part of the same team. You know, these are financially hard times. In order to keep sure that we keep water out of the bottom of the boat, we're going to have to decrease some of these salaries and move on from there. And when everything comes back around, we can elevate the salaries again. That type of conversation. That sounds like something that would make sense for a promoter to say, not the media to say. But the problem with somebody like Ryan, a problem with that is that once you lower your salary, you lower your asking price, even though if it's even though it may be completely reasonable for that promoter or for your boss or whoever's asking you to do that, it might be completely reasonable for them to ask you to take a pay cut. But that doesn't mean that when their financial situation gets back together, that they're going to increase your pay. Because the more money that they make after they get you to agree to acquiesce and lower your cost, when they start making more money, what would be their incentive to give you that money back, right? To start paying you more again? Nothing. In fact, there's a disincentive of it because for a while they will, with any amount of increased revenue, it increases their profit. Your salary stays the same, your money stays the same, but their profit increases. So you very well may find yourself in a battle to try to ever get back to where you were. Don't even worry about a conversation about how you get to where you actually want to go. And all of this stuff is starting to sound very similar to what Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya, and Eddie Hearn was saying before all this coronavirus started and before they were forced to start paying people more money because the PBC was paying people more money. Back then, they were saying there's no way you're paying these fighters this astronomical wages. There's no way we can make any money off this. This is going to kill boxing, right? So now when the coronavirus comes, what do they start talking about again? Lowering the purses for boxers. Now, they're not talking about charging the sanction. They're not talking about charging the networks any less in their licensing fees. They're not talking about charging anybody any less money or us paying any less money. Just that the boxers are going to make much less money, which means what? That the promoters made more money. And so therefore, it makes perfect sense to go somewhere where you don't have the issue with the promoter. You don't have a promotional fee. So even though there might be less money in the fight, you don't take any. You're going to still want to make the money. You're still going to wind up making the money that you wanted to make. So it is all around with Jermall Charlo and what J-Rock is saying to Ryan Garcia is probably a very smart thing. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.